Hello! Today we're going to work on and look at the phases of the moon. As the moon goes around the earth, we get to see it in different phases. It looks like it's growing, it looks like the light on it is shrinking, and that's what the phases to us look like. How much of the moon we see illuminated. And there's two different ways I'm going to show this today. I'm going to show it one on our poster notes that we're doing together, and I want you to copy down what I'm showing you. And then I have another graph, another poster put together that might help explain it more or further. Okay, so we're going to start with the new moon. We have the sun's rays coming in this way, and here we have the new moon. And the new moon we don't see. It's up in the daytime, and if we look, we don't see it because the dark side of the moon is the near side of the moon. So the side nearest to us is dark in this case. So we're going to go ahead and right here and just label this new moon. Alright? Then about a week later, as the moon, because the moon's orbit is not exact, and the time it takes to go around the Earth is different than the time it takes for it to go from phase to phase. So to go from new moon to new moon in a month is different than the time it takes for the moon to go from the same spot in the sky to a month later the exact same spot. It'd be in a different part of the phase. All right. So the next one, which is kind of the first four I'm giving you are kind of a fixed point in time. There is an exact new moon time. Then there's an exact first quarter time. About a week later. And then about a week after that, 2 weeks after the new moon, we've got the full moon. And again, you can look up a full moon's exact time. The exact time that the moon will be full. And then next we have the last or the third quarter. Okay? And those are the four fixed points in time with the moon. New moon, first quarter, full moon, and then third quarter or last quarter. And it always goes in that order no matter where you start. You can start with the full moon, then it's third, new, first, and then back to full. So no matter where you start with these four fixed points in time for the moon, you can figure out what the phases are from where you start. Okay? Now in between, what happens is as the moon is the light of the moon, when we're looking at the moon from seeing nothing, and then we watch the light start appearing on the moon, and it keeps appearing and the light keeps growing until it's a full moon, that is called waxing. And it means that the light is becoming more. I always think of it like from the Karate Kid, where Daniel-san was told to wax on when he was waxing the car. Wax on. So waxing means that the light is waxing on. The light is coming onto the moon. And I'm going to write that all the way up this side, because it starts right here at new moon, and it's waxing all the way to that fixed point in time that it is a full moon, and then it stops waxing, it stops growing. After that, the light on the moon that we see seems to start to diminish. So the part that is visible to us, that is lit up, is shrinking, and that is called waning. And I'm going to write it all the way down this way, because from full moon, that exact point in time, all the way down to the next new moon, and that exact point in time, the light is leaving the moon. The part of the moon we see that's illuminated shrinks down to where we cannot see anything at new moon. Now, that shrinking light or that growing light, depending on which side it's on, and actually, this is set up to help you recognize it in the sky, because if you're looking at this, if you're standing on Earth, just like if you're looking at this from where the sun's rays are coming from, on the right-hand side, of the poster is waxing. Well, if you're standing and you're watching the moon rise, and it's in waxing phase, the light of the moon, the illuminated part of the moon, is going to be on the right-hand side. So if you hold both your hands up, and left hand makes an L, so this is your right hand, and the illuminated side of the moon is on this side, on the right side, it's waxing. After the full moon, when the moon starts rising and it's waning, and the illumination is shrinking, then it's on the left-hand side. And just like on our poster here, it's on the left-hand side. Okay? So the small parts here, the parts where there's less light on it, whether it is increasing or decreasing, is called the crescent moon. So it's either going to be a waxing crescent or a waning crescent. So the crescent goes from new moon to first quarter, and from third quarter or last quarter to new moon. And that whole phase is called, and I'm writing sideways, sorry about that, crescent. That is the crescent moon. That's the moons that give you either a Cheshire moon, named after the Cheshire cat, the smile that the Cheshire cat in Alice in Wonderland has, or a thumbnail moon, which would be over on the waning side, and it looks like, if you look up there, it looks like a thumbnail. Then at the top, going from first quarter, as we leave this part here where it is growing as a crescent, it's growing, becomes first quarter, then from here up, and the light starts to there's more light, there's more illuminated part than the part we can't see. That is called gibbous. And I'm going to write it all the way across because it affects from here to here. And that is gibbous. Okay? So the phases that we have, there's 4 fixed point phases, and that is new moon, first quarter, full moon, third quarter or last quarter. And in between them, we then have waxing crescent, waxing gibbous, waning gibbous, waning crescent, wax on, wane off. And I will put up another video with the other poster in just a moment next, because we're already over 8 minutes on this one. So get this copy down, and then hopefully, if you don't fully understand it, the next video helps.